Well, the Bulls made a valiant effort for this one, at least in the first 3 quarters, but they really fell apart and could not close this one out. And the Bulls actually played pretty poorly in the fourth quarter, I might add. They had 10 turnovers in the fourth alone, which is pretty abysmal. I know we were playing a great defensive team in the Phoenix Suns, but you can't expect to win games when you're turning the ball over that many times, especially with the amount of turnovers they committed in the fourth. The Suns ended up scoring 24 points on the Bulls turnovers tonight, and that was really the difference maker in closing out this game. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. A disappointing game for the Bulls, no question. Granted, they were playing a strong team in the Suns that is a very young, talented basketball team with an all-star veteran in Chris Paul. So I can't be too mad at this loss compared to if this was a game, say, against the Wolves or the Kings. You know, I think that would have made the game plenty more disappointing than perhaps it normally would in a loss like the team against the Suns. However, the Bulls, they really had this one. I mean, they were ahead by as many as 14 points in the third, and they were playing great basketball. I mean, still turning the ball over here and there, which has just been the story of this season, but they were hustling up and down the court, playing hard on both ends of the floor. The bench played extremely well tonight and contributing on offense. There was a point where I thought the Bulls were going to run away with this one and blow this team out. Secure their 4th straight win and call it a day. The Bulls haven't won 4 straight since they won 7 straight in that first season after the Jimmy Butler trade, which was a season they were supposed to be tanking, so bad time to win 7 straight games, but I digress. Anyway, the Bulls looked like they were going to walk away with this one easily. The momentum was there, the players were energized and beating off each other. I mean, come on, Luke Cornett of all people had himself a career game tonight. Are you kidding me? Everything was going right. And then the fourth quarter happened. The Bulls were outscored 32-16 in the fourth. Now, because the Bulls have been doing a much better job in closing out games recently, I actually wasn't too worried when the Suns started closing the gap there at the end of the third. I figured the confidence with which the Bulls have been playing with recently, and even to start this game, I really felt this was a game they were going to be able to close out, which is normally the opposite of how I feel when I watch the Bulls, because I've been disappointed with so many games this season where they couldn't close games. And of course, I did not expect the Bulls to turn over the ball 10 times in the fourth quarter. And these were bad turnovers too. Some of them were not even forced turnovers, just bad passes that went flying out of bounds, straight up losing the ball on the dribble. Like I said, the Suns are one of the best defensive teams in the league, so I was kind of expecting the Bulls to turn over the ball a little bit higher than they usually do, which obviously isn't great to begin with, but they were turning the ball over on unforced errors, and things like that just can't happen at the end of the game, especially against good teams, because they will take advantage of it. Give the Suns credit though, this is a really good team. I mean, this was my first chance at seeing them play this season, and they were coming off a 3-game losing streak going into this one, so you knew that they were going to be hungry for a win. Devin Booker, I mean, we all know what he can do and how great he is. Another all-star snub. DeAndre Ayton, honestly, this guy is a really great big man on both ends. I feel like people have just kind of forgotten about him because so much attention was placed on Luka Doncic from that draft class. But he was the #1 pick in that draft class, and he was for a reason. He obviously made a mistake last season in getting himself suspended for performance-enhancing drugs, and that kind of ruined his reputation. But I see, Ayton having a lot of potential for being a star big man in this league in the next few seasons. And then Chris Paul, I mean, what more can you say about this guy? Future Hall of Famer, he had 15 assists tonight. He was plus 28 on the night. His sheer impact on the court is just incredible, especially for his age. I mean, we saw it last season when he was on the Thunder, and a team that had no business of being a winning team, let alone making the playoffs, when they were expected to be one of the worst in the league. Yet again, another reason why I really wish the Bulls had the ability to trade for CP3 this offseason if they had the money to make a trade work and they actually had the pieces that would have been enticing enough for the Thunder to get a deal done, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. Looking at the Bulls though for this game, like I said, the difference was turnovers. It's a problem that the Bulls seriously need to fix because this is a good team. I mean, I'm trying to even say that as an unbiased as I can Bulls fan, but the Bulls are a good team. They have talent. Young talent that is developing, veterans who have been contributing to the team very well, and you have a great coaching staff this season, something the Bulls haven't seen in a long time. But the biggest thing they need to fix is taking care of the basketball. I know there are other things as well that need to be fixed, defense being one of them, although the Bulls have improved their defensive rating in recent weeks. Playmaking is another that needs to be worked on a bit, but even that has been improving with the much better ball movement that we've seen on the court in recent games. But you're not going to win games against good teams and make a playoff run if you can't take better care of the ball. The Bulls are still dead last in turnovers per game in the league. It was good to see Coby having himself another good game. Not great game, I would say, but he's still struggling to hit his three-point shot, going 1 for 6 tonight. But overall, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He had another scary moment where he had to be helped off the court, but he did check back in, and so far appears to be fine. Wendell was a non-factor tonight, 2 points and 5 rebounds. He took 3 shots the whole game, 4 turnovers, 0 blocks. I mean, it was great to see how well Wendell had been playing since being out from his injury, and I even called it out in my last post-game video. And then he comes back and has a game like this. You know, not really sure what was going on with him tonight. Hopefully it was just an isolated incident. Patrick Williams also quiet tonight. He was strong on the boards and played some good defense, but only 4 points tonight, shooting 2 for 8. Lavine, I mean, by anybody else's standards, this was a great game if you look at his stat lines, but probably a below average game for him. 24 points. He was efficient with his scoring, shooting 9 for 16, but another 5 turnovers for him, and some of those were critical turnovers in the fourth quarter that the Suns took advantage of and scored on the other end. Thagic doing more Thagic things, of course, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, really, him and Lavine have been the only 2 most consistent players all season for the Bulls. Sato was great off the bench, another efficient night for him, shooting 5 for 6, 12 points. But the real story off the bench was Luke Kornet. You know, I mean, I joked in my last post-game video about what the heck was Billy Donovan thinking and having Kornet close out those final minutes in the game against the Timberwolves, but I can kind of see it now. He actually plays strong defense. And when his threes are actually falling, for once, it enables the team to spread the floor more easily than we would say otherwise with Wendell or Gafford. 11 points, 3 for 4 from 3, 3 blocks. I'm going to throw up a funny stat line that Casey Johnson tweeted, in which he showed Kornet's stat line for tonight versus his numbers for the rest of the entire season. Pretty mind-boggling, if you ask me. I mean, it would be great if we could continue seeing this type of effort from Kornet on a consistent basis, because we could certainly use some of the backup help at the 5. But I'm not going to get my hopes up on that one. Anyway, guys, the way I look at this one, I mean, I was expecting the Bulls, to lose this game. In my weekly preview, I had the Bulls going 3-1 this week, losing to the Suns. So really, I'm just going to shake this one off and just go on to the next game, hoping the Bulls can bounce back. It was disappointing because the Bulls really could have won this one, but just could not keep it together in the fourth, which is a sign of a young team, and they'll hopefully treat it as a learning experience. I'll be out with another video tomorrow, and the Bulls will be taking on the Raptors on Sunday. I'll have another live chat for that as always. Be sure to subscribe, guys, if you're a Bulls fan, as I post daily Bulls content. And again, thanks as always for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.